Before I begin, I want to say that I record these ahead of time, and if I would have known, I would have drawn Chewbacca. This week we lost Peter Mayhew, and it's a huge loss on the Star Wars community. He shaped Chewbacca for years to come. He played Chewbacca for the first 3 movies, and he also played Chewbacca in The Force Awakens. He did pass on his role for The Last Jedi, and he was there to help the newer Chewbacca learn his mannerisms. And to this I say thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you did, and the world will sorely miss you. Rest in peace, Mr. Mayhew. So, happy May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. In this video, I want to talk about my favorite characters and the reason why they're my favorite characters. Star Wars was a major milestone for me as a nerd growing up. My parents took me to see the digitally remastered versions in theaters, and I couldn't be happier. It was later night movies for me. I had to be about 6 or 8 at the time. So here we go with my top 10 favorite characters. Coming in at number 10 is young Anakin Skywalker from Episode 1. Anakin was a curious young boy. He was really smart. He built C-3PO. He was a natural pod racer, and he always wanted to help. And that's what made him stand out. Number 9 is Darth Vader from Episodes 4, 5, and 6. Now, before you jump down my throat and saying, but Vicky, they're the same character. I know that Anakin and Darth Vader are the same character. I know. But the characterizations are completely different from Episode 1 to Episode 4, 5, and 6. I also want to point out that Darth Vader was, at this point, confident. And in the long run, he defeated Emperor Palpatine. Now, Emperor Palpatine is probably the scariest guy I could come up with for a villain when it came to everything, and I'm glad that Vader defeated him because it showed him as a softer side. I know I'm probably going to catch a little bit of hell for this, but Jar Jar Binks is my number 8. The Phantom Menace came out when I was in 6th grade. And as a young kid, he was funny. That's it. He was funny. It's the only reason why he was on my list. Number 7 is C-3PO. He's a droid. He was hand-built, he's practical, and he is relatable. As an adult, he is definitely a relatable person. So, C-3PO is number 7. My number 6 is R2-D2. I always found R2-D2 a little quirky and funny. And he definitely knows how to defend himself. I've seen scenes where he can shock other droids. I've seen him turn 2 battle droids into ashes. So yeah, he can defend himself. Number 5 is Padme from episodes 1, 2, and 3. I found her smart and resourceful, and her episode 1 costumes were eye-catching and beautiful. Of course, any young girl would wanted to have been her. I just liked her costumes and how she was smart. Number 4 is the man himself, Yoda. Yoda is a wise mentor, and he still has a sense of humor at 900 years old. He has had a lot of quotes attributed to him, and I even write one on this page after I finish painting him. Number 3, Chewbacca. What can I say? It's Chewie. What else is needed? Number 2, Luke Skywalker. I saw that his struggles were relatable as a teenager. Didn't want to do chores, always wanted to run off a bit. Got really frustrated when he couldn't do what he wanted. And now that he's older, you can see that he isn't completely infallible. He did end up overestimating his power in The Last Jedi. He didn't want anything to do with training Rey. He basically made a lot of mistakes, and that showed that he was human. And my number 1 pick is Leia Organa. Yes, Carrie Fisher's main role in this movie was my favorite female lead. She is strong. She isn't completely helpless when she's a princess, except for that one time where she was captured. She grows up to be a commanding general and have a very commanding presence. And it has been shown that she is force sensitive. I believe it was episode 6 and again in The Last Jedi. So now for a few words about this piece. I didn't see myself drawing Yoda. Yoda's a bit trickier as he's humanoid, but he's not human. I used Winsor Newton Cotman watercolor set. I did pick up black. That's what that little small tube is. I had a little trouble with colors being picked up on the brush again once I tried putting a different color down. But it was workable. So yeah, Yoda was not my first choice, but he was on the list. I was going to originally do an all-terrain attack transport or an AT-AT walker. You know, those big elephant walkers from The Empire Strikes Back. I was going to do one of those. Honestly, I think Yoda looks a little bit better. Anyways, I drew Yoda as the illuminated figure of a Jedi when he passes. I guess you could call them ghosts or visions. I thought I could get this all right when I tested the watercolors over each other. They didn't run as much, but oh well. And as with every other piece that I have done, I had to learn a lesson here. I forgot to put a wash down for the first half of the background. Putting a wash down of just plain water helps spread the watercolor a little bit further so that you can actually paint without messing it up. It gets the watercolor to be a little bit more even in the long run. I do go back and forth with some of the blue and the black, mainly because while one's drying, the other needs to be darkened a bit. or needs adjustment, it helps. But that's what's going on here. So after I finish painting up the background and adjusting the color, I go around with a silver gel pen, a Signal, I think it is, a Uni-ball, and I outline the aura of the ghost part just so you can see it a little bit better, to help distinguish it and separate it a bit more from the background. I use the same gel pen to do the writing. I did plan out the writing ahead of time, but that's mainly so I had space. So this is the final drawing for this week. The quote reads, "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." I believe Yoda said this in episode 1. I'd have to go back to make sure. But it is kind of relevant to today's environment. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you like videos like this, please subscribe so I can put out more content. Please like the video and leave a comment. Who is your favorite character? Or what character do you find has had the most influence over your life? Have a good day.